What's up, everybody? Welcome to the new and improved live game audio show. That kind of feels weird to say, but officially, as of today, the name of this weekly live stream show has updated. I'm officially calling it the live game audio show because, well, that's what I do. I write video game audio. I write music and sound effects for 2D adventure games. So that means Metroidvanias, platformers, and RPGs. And every once in a while, I get the opportunity to work on a game that combines multiple of those elements together. Games like Monster Sanctuary or future music for Dark Dice and some others, Twilight Monk, right? So these are games and properties that really focus on storytelling, which is what I'm all about. So if this is your very first time to the show, my name is Stephen Melin. Every single Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we get to do this, and it's a ton of fun. Now, I have to just be super upfront today that I've had a pretty rough, crummy week under the weather with a cold. Feeling better today, not 100%, but I'm going to keep doing this because I love doing this show with you guys. You are super supportive, and this seems to be extremely valuable for you, so I'm going to push on. So I may end the stream a little bit early today just out of, lack of energy, but I'm glad to be here, and I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. If you are not familiar with the Salt and Sanctuary game, it's a game by Ska Studios, which are actually some veterans in the game industry who kind of peeled off to do their own thing, two guys, and they made a game a few years back called Salt and Sanctuary, which is very much a Souls-like, I don't want to call it a clone, but it uses a lot of the same, the HP bar and the magic bar and the stamina and bosses and kind of, come on, it's a Metroidvania, it's a Souls-like game, right? There's a lot of games out there like that. But I got to say, as a consumer and as a video gamer myself, I noticed that, I love the Dark Souls series, and even right now, I'm about to finish up Elden Ring, and I've logged something like 80 hours in this game in the last couple of weeks. So you can see how, I really, really love this type of game, where you build a character, and it has the RPG elements of leveling up your character, but also inside the game, you get to do a lot of exploration. And to me, that's my favorite thing about video games is getting to explore this brand new world and the visuals and all that kind of stuff. And oftentimes, these games have really good music, and the music has a really strong impact because typically it's more minimalistic in style, where your character is walking around and it's either very ambient music or no music at all and just sound design. And then as soon as you encounter a boss, boom, the intensity goes up to 10 out of 10, and it's this big, huge, epic music. And so what I wanted to do today was take a clip from a boss battle for this upcoming game. So Salt and Sanctuary is the original game, and it was highly acclaimed, and it's still on Steam and PlayStation and everything. You can go play it now. Fantastic game, but the team has actually made a sequel that's releasing within the next few months on all the major platforms. I was able to find some early gameplay footage and use that for today. So I'm really excited about that. And I'll show you that clip in just a second. But the other part of today is whenever I can, I like to combine elements together. So it's super cool that we get to write music. I'm not the official composer for the game by any means. But it's definitely a game that meets all the criteria for the types of games that I write for. So if nothing else, it's kind of a source of inspiration to have some beautiful visuals to write music to. And the other part of today is, part of the inspiration is I'm going to be exploring and doing a first look / review of Dark Horizon, which is a brand new sample library. It's a Kontakt library. And this is actually a team effort from Sonuscore and Best Service, which are two juggernauts in the industry of sample libraries. And this is a really cool situation today where, in all candid honesty with you guys, I always want to be transparent and upfront with you, that I was approached by those guys to check out the library. And something that you should know is, yes, I'm a YouTuber and I do this every single week and have a growing and large audience. But I don't say yes to everything. I hope you guys know that. I get a lot of sponsorship offers and affiliate offers and things, and I only say yes to the ones that, number one, I really like the company. Number two, I really like the product that they're trying to sell. But third, as a composer, I'm always trying to think in the minds of you guys doing game audio. Is this something that is really going to enhance your craft? Is this a tool that you need in your tool belt that's really going to help you? And sometimes, even just based on the price alone, if something's just crazy high, wackadoodle, and doesn't make any sense, it's just not something I really care to pitch or like to showcase with you guys. But I think today we've really hit the sweet spot. This is a super cool library. I'm really excited to dive into it. Again, it's called Dark Horizon. Let me actually pull it up. And you can, if you look into the description of this video, you can actually see an affiliate link, which if you buy through there, it's going to be through Best Service, and that actually is an affiliate link that supports my channel here at no additional cost to you. So thank you so very much for your support. But let me show you why you should even care. Let me type it in real quick. So this is a pretty cool library because first and foremost, it is simple. It has, number two, incredibly quality sounds. And number three, it's going to help inspire and create bass, specifically synth electronic bass sounds that you're probably never going to create on your own from scratch because of its effects engine and all that kind of stuff that I'm about to show you. Let me pop over to this page. So if you go to the Sonuscore website, you can check out Dark Horizons. And here's just the bullet points real quick for you. So they're calling it an earth-shattering bass-heavy synth built using synthesizers and a variety of sounds bent and warped into fascinating soundscapes and powerful low ends. I don't necessarily love the language here, but it's actually way cooler than that. It says that it obliterates the subs but maintains a crisp and pristine sound. So it's actually based on the same engine as Elysion, however you say that, and it creates an even darker sound palette with new presets, themes, and effects. Now, I'll be honest, I'm really big on sales copy, and I'm really big on trying to describe things and make them sound cool, but ultimately, I think with sample libraries, it's one of those things that you just have to see it, and if it clicks, awesome. It's something you want to add to your tool belt, but if it doesn't click, you don't care. So let me just show you what in the world this looks like. I'm a big fan of simplicity. Obviously, if you followed me for any amount of time, you know that I have a company called Simple Samples Audio, which is literally predicated on simple libraries, making something that is one interface, something that has like as few buttons as possible, that really does one thing with exceptional quality. And I think that this checks all the boxes. And just from the little bit of time I've already used this library, it is super cool and probably will fill a gap in your library tool belt that you didn't know that you needed. So anyway, Dark Horizon, like when you load this thing up, it's literally one patch. And that right off the bat is a really, really good green flag because it's telling me everything's in the box, right? As soon as you load it up, this is what you get. It's 4 oscillators. So think of it as a synthesizer. You have 4 different patches. You can actually solo or mute each one of these. So if I just solo, go to the next one, just like that. There's also a little mute button if you want to mute one of them, which I like that. I think it's clever. And if you click on the number, you can edit that particular patch, which is down here on the bottom. Really cool. But that's not what makes this thing cool, because you can find that in a lot of libraries. What makes this thing really interesting, number one, they have presets, which are all composers' best friends. So down here, this little drop down, these are their different menus: lowest textures, mono arpeggios, playable sounds, poly animations, and rhythmic pulses. Now, these categories are really interesting because all they're doing is they're choosing a sound from the list, and they have them all organized by different things called dirt bikes, dirt and noise, orchestra, or synthesized. And what they've done is they've just chosen seemingly, 4 random patches, and then they've mutated it with the effects so that it kind of fits squarely within one of those folders. So definitely want to spend some time going through these and just enjoying the insanity of it all. And let me actually load up a new patch because I actually started writing with this one. I don't want to butcher it. But if we were just to solo this, load up a new patch here, let's see what this thing sounds like. Now, right off the bat, it has a cool sound, but that's probably not what you want from a big, deep bass synth. So what we got to do is use the mod wheel. The mod wheel changes not only the graphic interface, which I think is brilliant, and I'm probably going to bug them to see how the heck they did this. I don't know why that's so freaking satisfying, but watch the screen. As I move the mod wheel, you can kind of see my hand over here. Hi. Why can't you see my thumb? That's silly. There we go. As I move up and down on the mod wheel, you see how the graphics actually change. And the sound actually, all the effects are morphing as you do it. So like this. They have all the effects attached to the mod wheel, and they're so cool. So let's just take a second and play through some of these. There's so many. There's 80 in total. Like, this is straight up like Hollywood trailer epic. But really, the secret sauce is using the mod wheel. So cool, and it's effortless. So cool. And you can also cycle through the patches right here in this middle. Yeah, this sound is crazy. And I haven't done anything. It's literally the patch. And you will notice, and this is intended to be a bass patch, because notice even the range on the keyboard, it stops at middle C. So they, I guess it's, middle C right there. They don't have anything that's above middle C. So everything in this library is dedicated to one idea: making intense synth bass. And you might call that, oh, that's not as cool as Omnisphere, which has everything in the entire universe. But if you think about something like Omnisphere, which is, I don't even know what it costs now. It's like $400, $600, something like that. Omnisphere is fantastic, and I use it a lot. I even use Zebra a lot, which is kind of similar to synthesizer, right? Or say sampler or synthesizer. And what's interesting about those is they're like sandboxes where you open it up and then you're instantly overwhelmed with thousands of presets and thousands of choices and like, what genre do I want? What style do I want? And what happens is you have to spend so much time before you get a quality sound out of there that actually matches your project. But what I like about Dark Horizon so far, just from the little bit of time I've used it, it's really easy to find exactly the sound I'm wanting or something close to it. And it's going to be this dark, gritty, synthy thing. And the reason for today that I'm scoring a scene or, writing some music for Salt and Sacrifice, which again is the sequel to Salt and Sanctuary. First of all, I just love Souls games and I'm obsessed with them and it's what I write for. It's what I play. So I get that genre really well, but it's also, if you think about that type of sound, you're either going hardcore orchestral, epic, kind of like Elden Ring, right? Or go back to, I don't know, there's so many gritty, like you can go two ways. You can go all in orchestral, yes, even what Hollow Knight does, right? Or you can introduce the synthy side and really try to get that grit and that almost that horror feeling from the synths. You can think of something like Stranger Things, right? Kind of a homage to the 80s. And I'm excited to do this because it's just combining two things that are really fascinating and interesting. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun playing around with this today and making some cool, epic bass lines. And we're going to dive more into this as we go, but just to kind of show off the interface, it's dang simple, and that's how it should be. You have all your basic functions like panning. You can mix, which, the levels of each of the four sounds. You can add different effects in there, and in that alone, you can get a lot of mileage out of. And you can also change it from poly to mono. So if you want to treat it more like a mono bass. Super cool sound if you want to do like a lot of motion. Which sounds like a black hole sucking all the sound. So again, that's if I toggle the mono mode. But if you leave it on poly, then all of those samples are going to go. Right, just like that. You can play with the mod wheel all day on these. And I particularly love how they used motorbikes to get a lot of these sounds. Like they're using real world, like gnarly, nasty kind of sounds to then mutate alongside synthesizers. Like what a cool idea. I'm surprised they didn't call it like death metal bikes or something, but come on, Dark Horizon sounds cool, and it definitely fits with the image and everything. So without further ado, let's play some music. I'm not a huge fan of arpeggiators, but they do have a really solid ARP engine. So if like ARPs are really your thing, you could easily go into here and pick one of these poly animations, and they're going to be using this ARP engine, and it's pretty simple. There's just one arpeggiator for each of the four oscillators, right? The four different sounds. So, and it's going to match your tempo. So I'm currently at 180 in my BPM. And it's pretty neat because you can go into each of these and change the pulse. You can change the time signature, which is, I haven't seen an engine do that before, where you can actually tell it what time signature to play. That's cool. Whether it's a 4, 5, 6, 7, or 3 feel. And you can change, of course, what you'd expect with any ARP is change, 16th notes versus 8th notes. I could see this being super useful for EDM, which is not really something I do, but even besides that, any kind of like chase scene or anything that really you need a lot of frantic energy. So what better property to pick than a Souls-like game that really focuses on the darkness and really focuses on that like dreading feeling of fighting a big boss. So I'm really excited to dive into this today. So just in preparation for this today, I grabbed a little scene from Salt and Sacrifice, and I want to play this scene. It's quite short. I'll play a little snippet of it with the sound effects in it, just to show you what we're going to be working with here today. Let me actually blow it up a little bit so you can actually see it, and I'll be back. Alrighty, so that's what we're going to be working with here today. Let me get my my video back in order over here in the corner so we can all see it. So first things first, the Salt and Sanctuary style, or the Salt and Sacrifice music style, is actually rock-centric. It uses a lot of electric guitars. They're usually rhythmic bass, that kind of thing. Reminds me of like 90s rock, like heavy metal. And it works for the game, and it's an interesting sound, and it's very unique. I would approach this game soundtrack very differently. I would take it a lot more emotional and a bit more epic. And I'm not gonna, bash on the soundtrack. I think it works and it's fine. It's different. It's someone else's interpretation. But ultimately, I want to make sure that instead of trying to copy the style today, I want to write my own version of how I would tackle this and write something that I think would be very impactful and very intense. So I am going to be muting. That's what I did with the clip here. As soon as our characters, there's now a PvP mode, or I guess a teammate mode, just like in Dark Souls and Elden Ring. That was not present in the first game, but now you can actually summon friends to come help and beat the baddies. So we're not going to hear the sound effects during the fight, but at least this is why I have my loop bar up here. Starts right when the boss fight starts, and there's a sound effect here that signals a boss. It's that like wind chimey sound. So to me, I think the music should actually start right when that drum beat comes in. Boom! I think the music should kind of fade in and play throughout the duration of the fight. So the first thing I did, I'm telling you, like literally the first patch I pulled up, I thought, whoa, this is cool. Let's just start writing. I came up with this little riff. And that's just kind of where my brain went into this ARP. And so I'm using the patch Dark Obsidian. I think it's so cool. And what I'm doing is I'm riding the mod wheel as I play. To make it more intense. Just to kind of like morph the sound throughout so it's not always so repetitive. What I'm doing is playing a C minor. So C, A flat, G, C, over and over again. But then throwing in a B natural to make it a B diminished. So we're basically doing C minor to B diminished or B augmented. Right? And to me, I don't know what it is, if it's like the flames around him or if it's just giant mage. And something I should also say specifically about this game that kind of separates it from other Souls-like games is the whole purpose of this game is you're supposed to go and actually devour the mages. So most of the bosses are mages. They're different powers and whatever. So this is generally the type of boss you're going to see in the game. So to me, I want there to almost feel like fire or feel like elements and magic. And to me, like this library just like screams that. And I think it still sits within the realm of the style of the game, which has a rock metal vibe. So I haven't even filled out the 1 minute loop. I'm just thinking of doing a 1 minute loop today, but it might be kind of cool to create a B section if we're labeling these. Let's just call this A. And maybe B starts here. Which is a very rock thing to do. So let's make this B. Let's see what happens. I'm telling you, this is all live. This is all unplanned. But that's half the fun of doing this with you guys, is we just get to kind of goof around. And I would be totally remiss if I didn't say hi to a few people. What's up, Taro, Raphael, Matt, Valu, thanks. I'm glad you can finally make it to a stream. David, I think there's 2 Davids here. Davids, what's up? Shubham, Arfo, Casper, glad you guys are here. I'm glad you can make it. These are always great fun to do. And thanks for wishing me to feel better. As I drink coffee, but you know what? Coffee makes the world go round. So yeah. It also kind of gives that cool vibe that the current soundtrack does with this is kind of my replacement for a bass guitar and a distorted electric guitar. That matches the footage so well. With the flames shooting out. And to me, like, this needs intensity. But I want to keep it in Dorian. With the D flat. Which is a very heavy metal thing to do. You guys might not know this about me, but I was a bit of a metalhead listener, not player. High school, college years. So I know that style pretty well. And it's really cool to have the opportunity to try to do this in like a, not chip way, but not a chimp synth way, but, using a bass synth instead of those traditional instruments. I think it's cool. That'd be a good loop point right there. So in order to make that fit my 1 minute, let me first of all quantize the 16th notes. I like the grittiness of it all. I'm going to take, if I can find 2 perfect measures and just copy them. good ones. So I'm literally just going to copy that 4 times. Back here. Nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of the backbeat bass. And in this next pass, while it plays, I'm actually going to record the mod wheel. And man, I want you guys to be able to see the mod wheel a bit better. Camera's all goofed up today. There we go. You can kind of, you still can't see it. Whatever. You can kind of see my hand going up and down over here. I'm going to actually ride the mod wheel up and down throughout these 8 bars. So it has a little bit more interest. Leave it up. Then down. Because the beginning of the track actually starts with the mod wheel down. So let me merge all those takes together, Cubase style. I like to do it manually. You can set Cubase to do it automatically, but then I just don't like that. I like to do everything manually. All right, let me fix the timings. Yeah, stories and Pringles in the chat. This is no joke. You get what you get. Like you see what you see is what you get. This is not like the one and done one synth library you'll ever own for all existence. But this, if you're trying to get a gritty synth, like distorted, it's very particular. Not everyone needs something like this, but if you're gonna write darker music, then this is really modern and really cool. And I'm a big fan of any kind of sample library that is bold and chooses to be different. I love incorporating that into my sounds. And it fits like a glove for me. Man. Oh no, you're saying my oh my. Thanks for saying that, Raphael. That's what I get for using a cheap webcam for my keyboard camera. You might not know this, but I have a custom built PC that I use for all my streaming and gaming and music and stuff. But it has a limit to the number of cameras it can use. So I can only put one DSLR at a time. And so I devote that to this camera so you can see me in HD. But over here, my other camera is actually hanging out. Where is it? Well, you don't need to see that one. Where is it? The synth cam. It's a hot mess right now, but whenever I show off the synth. So that camera is always on, so, it's just a mess. Whatever. That should have fixed it, Raphael. Sorry about is it still doing the psycho zooms? It is. I'll tell you what I'll do real quick. I'm on OBS. Well, that's really funny. All I have to do is disable it and bring it back. So it's going to disappear. Should fix it, I hope. Oh, geez, that's pretty psycho. Maybe it's the music. It's trying to like pump out to the. It is totally pulsing. Oh man. Maybe that'll fix it. No, it's just gonna be wild. That's like really intense, huh? I don't even know how to fix that without like restarting everything. Well, that's annoying. It's like trying to zoom in. That's really funny. Well, you guys get to enjoy the beat. That seems a little bit better. All right. If it doesn't stop, let me know, because that would drive me insane too. Looks like it stopped. Thanks for bringing that up. That's never happened before. Oh, always leave it to the live streams for all the crazy tech glitches to happen that have never happened. Pretty much every single time there's something new and interesting. Okay, so clearly you can't have a track just with that one sound. What I want to do is start layering and putting like a cool, like, gritty melody on top of that feels intense. So an idea I had was to take this next patch called Seismic Evolution. And I look at these names. These are amazing. Bike of Fear, Thunder Rocket, Rocket Toy, Seismic Terminal. Pretty cool. And this is one of the ARPs. But you know what, to me, I could go through and change all the parameters to make it 16th notes, but I don't know if I love that sound. But I want something like that. A rhythmic pulse, that's what they're called. Just kind of play around for a minute and see what's in here. That'll be a nice impact type thing. Cool, maybe right about here. Hey, I'm just going to fly here. Man, this is cool stuff. Let's dive into I want to see what's in this orchestral side of things. Like I'm going to mute these for a second and just maybe build my own patch. Let's see what's inside. So if I go to orchestra, there's some cool things here. Tube strings. That's a cool intro. Cool. This one's called Joined Forces. This would be a cool melody line, or one of the melody lines. Joined Forces. So I'm thinking right about here to start doing to kind of hover on the C minor. Alright, so lengthwise, we are currently at, if the whole track starts at 12 seconds even, we want it to end at 112, which is here. So currently we're 1 bar off. Totally fine. We just actually need to change the tempo. So let's actually make it a little bit slower, maybe 174, and see what happens when we shave off some time. It's, yeah, right. I mean, I can even speed it up a little bit. 176. Looks like it conforms perfectly to a 112. So there we go. I'm just going to slow down the tempo by 4 BPM. That melody. And yeah, Stories and Pringles, I'm always happy to give you reasons to spend all your hard-earned money. To me, this end really needs a lot of energy. So we have 4 bars to like take it to a 10 out of 10. So I like this idea of these are good like tent pillars, like columns. That leads us back to the 1 chord, but we need something that's just like totally in your face. Let's find another sound that really gives the vibe. And it might not even be from this library, which is fine. A lot of cool stuff in here. Hey, what's up, Chip? James. I don't have a cool hat like Chip James, but it's okay. That's another, that could be its own boss theme. Fun fact, Chip James, he made a comment that this track reminds me a bit of Golden Sun. Fun fact, what's his, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Someone look it up real quick. But the same composer for Golden Sun is the same composer for Dark Souls. Isn't that crazy? I almost said Sakimoto, but it's not Sakimoto. It's, I need to look it up. I need for my own brain for like, this is not okay. Yeah, Motoi Sakuraba is the same composer for Dark Souls, Demon Souls, etc. As Golden Sun, which is amazing. It makes my heart so happy. And that's why there's like a through line of his sound. Because even his happy stuff sounds dark. And I feel like I have a very, very similar style to that. We have a question. Story says, I have a question. How do you balance to keep tracks between 1 and 2 minutes long? I'm just getting into music packs and struggle with wanting to do more on them. Well, my suggestion to you is get all your ideas out and then just chop them up into a bunch of tracks. There have been plenty of times when it comes to music packs, I've taken a 6-minute piece of music and just chopped it into 5 tracks, 3 tracks, whatever. Because you got to think in a video game, you really can't handle, I mean, there's some exceptions, but generally you can't really handle more than 2 themes in a piece of music. Because if you're trying to represent a location or a character or an event in a story, it's really hard to have multiple melodies, like 8 melodies representing one piece of music. It doesn't really work. So it makes a whole lot more sense to chop that into a 1 or 2 minute track and just let it loop and let it be its own thing, you know? Anyway. You guys are fun. Oh, cool. Noel says, feeling some Marvel vibes. Thanks for being here. Yes, right now, what I'm trying to do is double this melody. It kind of sounds like a guitar right now, which is the bum. I think I found a good one to double it. Like the end just needs to have like a wild. Serious when I hum the notes. I'm not gonna go too crazy that it doesn't make any sense if it's out of context, but somewhere like these last 4 bars, I think it'd be really cool to have an ARP. Also needs to have like because it's a loop, it's not the end of a track, right? It has to kind of lead back in. So rhythm-wise, it's cool to have 16th notes. You have to kind of leave it alone so that the loop can work. I do want this. I'm probably going to use this in a game music pack anyway, because I'm not writing this for the actual game. Maybe I'll just get rid of just an idea. For now, I'll get rid of these bass hits because you just can't have too much bass stuff happening at once. Do C minor, A diminished, cool. Let's just do that and move on. Hey, thanks for hanging out. I know what I'm going to do. Peoples. I know what I'm going to do. I have a really brilliant idea. It's not like I invented it, but I'm going to put... You guys have seen me do this before with loops. I'm going to create an outro that's the same length as the intro. It's where I do this. Let me get rid of all my windows so you can actually see. I'm going to take the... Just watch. And then maybe I can explain it. I'm going to create an outro, which is 4 bars, which is the same content as the intro, but half the length. This way, the 1 minute loop is going to be offset by 4 bars. So 1 minute loop actually starts there. And this is going to be called the outro. And then the intro is actually going to be, if I move all this content left, should line up. Right there, because I want to move the movie. And then, boom, we have the outro. So theoretically, that's my 1 minute loop. So again, if we look down at the bottom, down here, it says 12 seconds when we start. It should say 1:12 when we end, and it does. So what that has done is it's freed up some space to have a reverb tail. And to be able to finish this like psychotic arpeggio thing, I like that. It's called Dying Star, which sounds like something straight out of Elden Ring. Star Scourged, Radon. I don't like the notes that I played, but you hopefully can feel the loop, how it works a whole lot better now. It gives me space to end this. Like that. Oh yeah. Those triplets? Triplet. They are triplets, aren't they? So these need to be 16th note triplets. Gross. That's not okay. There it is. Yeah, now the loop works really well. And this is where the melody's going to come in. So really, we can call this A, we can call this intro, because the intro is actually just split in half. So that's a cool way to keep your reverb tails intact without creating any, confusion between or any like pops or anything when you loop. That's good. Okay, structurally, I think the whole thing is very sound now. And that was the solution I needed, was to cut the outro, well, to take the intro, which was 8 bars long, cut it in half, whereas 4 on the back end as an outro, 4 on the beginning as an intro, because of how it's going to loop. Because I want the loop point to actually start on bar 5 of the intro, and that's why I cut it up in half like that. And the purpose of that is I can create some kind of reverb tail through that ARP thing. I can like let it land on that C and kind of dissipate without having to chop up any weird audio at the end. Because when I export it, I'm literally just going to export my chunk, the 1 minute clip. And what's going to happen is, because it's now completely empty right here, there's no weird reverby things happening. It's going to loop perfectly. Just like that. It won't have that jingle in it because that jingle's from this. See? It's actually really good timing. Check it out. Look, like this, that's the perfect amount of time. It's 4 bars, but notice that the mage starts attacking, like the boss battle actually starts. You see the HP bar as soon as the melody's supposed to come in at A. Right here. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so here's one of the techniques that I use. I love synths because they're perfect. They're metric, right? They have this nice pulse, and obviously they emotionally give the sense of darkness or of mystery because they're not human instruments. They're computers, right? So I like to use them as a bed, and you could certainly write a whole track like this and be fine. It would work, but to help give the humanity piece, because I like to always look at the story. This is a group of humans fighting a monster, right? So there's humanity versus divinity. So it's like this clash of sounds. So if we're treating the dark sounds, the evil monsters as the synth, then we need to have some of the orchestral human elements, real wood, like the wood of strings, right? The strings of a piano, that kind of thing. So now is kind of the fun part of layering on top of, to make some more production here. Let's kind of fill out the sound. We can keep the synths as a bed, but now let's actually pump it up and make it a bit more epic and more interesting now that we have some cool rhythms and stuff to work with. So I would consider that all just like the groundwork. That's part 1 of today. And look at that, right at 1 hour. That's pretty good. So now let's take the next 30 minutes or so, maybe a bit longer if I have the energy, and, let's do some orchestral stuff on top. So first thing that I hear is you got to have strings. And my favorite strings by default to grab are the ensemble strings from 8dio, Adagietto, which is still one of the most inexpensive sample libraries out there. By all means, today I'm, promoting Dark Horizon. Grab that if you don't have it yet. It's super cool, but it's not the end all be all. It's one sound. It's one idea. It's obviously the bedrock of today, but it's good to have other stuff too. So today I'm going to be throwing in the spiccato strings from 8dio Adagietto, which, again, if you've watched my streams before, you know that this is my go-to short string patch all the time because it still sounds amazing. And it's probably like, 8 years old. It might even be 10 years old now. I remember I got this library a long time ago, but it has carried me through. And people still ask me, oh my gosh, where did your strings come from? Are those live? I'm like, no. And it'll load in a second. I hope. There they are. And I like to always mix my microphones halfway down, far, 100% close. And the speed knob actually determines how much that they're quantized. So typically I leave it alone unless I need things to be more metronomic. But we don't need that today because of the synth. Unless they start to sound sloppy. But check this out. Like, this is an ancient patch, but it still sounds amazing. And to this day, even when I record real string ensembles, which I've done, you've watched me do, I still layer this on top of it. I still use this patch because it's so freaking good. That's called synthestration, when you layer real on top of fake sample instruments. What's funny is I don't know if I even want to use that. So instead, let me move over to some legato strings from the same patch, from the same library. This might be cooler with just some long brrr, some low C's, especially in the double basses. Man, I love a low C on a string bass. Nothing like it in the world. It's just like the most, like, grittiest, natural sound ever heard. Yep, Taro in the chat. Taro knows what's up. Let's do ensemble sustains. That way it's just kind of one long note. Yeah, welcome Michael and Micah, who's been here. Basically just messing around with Dark Horizon and laying a bass bed. Basically. Basically, because, you know, bass. Alright, there we go. Let's do it. Oh, these also sound incredible. Nice and low. So good. Let's fill this sucker out. Do you guys remember how I lost a bar? Remember that? How I didn't have enough. So, and I changed the tempo. Let me remedy that by changing the tempo back to 180. And let's just get rid of this bar right here. This is like it's more of a trailer kind of thing to do, to leave a bar of space to kind of do some sound designy things, but it's just 2 bars right there. Let me just delete that. There's no purpose of that. Delete time, and now everything is beautifully back together. The band is back together. All right, there's my loop. Shabam. I'm hoping that the time code is still relevant. So let's see, 12 seconds. Let's go to the end. Ah, bummer. I lost some. Maybe I did the opposite of what I was supposed to do. Let me go back and change my tempo. 176. That's what it was. Oh, I did the opposite, didn't I? Let's do 174. 172. What I'm trying to do is make this fill out 1 minute. I don't know if I like it as much slower, but it does take care of that missing amount of space. So let's leave it for now at the new tempo, 172. If it feels too slow, then I'll just, you know, have to deal with it and write something new, but I'm trying not to write more. These are solid ideas. usually use this, but this like really needs some low brass. I just think it could really use it. So I'm gonna grab Cinebrass Pro. Those are my go-tos for like more Hollywood type sound. And this lovely patch called Monster Low Brass Articulations. It's really cool. Don't want to blast your ears. Let me turn it way down. Blasting that tuba and the bass trombones. It's lovely. Copy the modulation where it kind of rises and falls. Just for fun, let's see what that sounds like. Let's see what the brass sounds like if we add distortion. It's a pretty common technique in modern pop music is to take a brass ensemble or low brass and to throw some distortion. So let's go over here and let's see what happens. I have no idea. Let me solo it. Give it some more grit. Add the strings to it. I saw your comment. Let me get back to it. So I just put a stereo delay, 20% left, eighth note delay on the brass. Why not? It kind of fills out the space a little bit. With strings, legato. And now with all of the dark horizon thingies. by pushing my pitch bend all the way up to jump the sound 2 octaves higher. My mod wheel, I'm just riding it. I would move the camera, but based on our crazy zoom in issue earlier, I'm not going to touch it, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. I want to put it in this second half. I think it's really cool to have a high sound. Those crazy artifacts. Cool. These are 16ths. I'm just playing the same chords. Clean this up. Hey, what's up, Robin? Glad you're here. Yes, it's not so unusual for me, but it's just applying my typical techniques to different types of sounds, which half the fun of being a composer. Never underestimate the power of adding distortion and delay to a brass patch. I mean, check this out. Look how cool and fat and rich this sounds. It's also because I'm doubling with the strings, but check this out. This is the brass with no effects on it. Like this. And then when we add distortion and delay to it, just an eighth note delay and a hint of distortion, not even much. You saw it. Here it is. Of course, we add the low strings, which are nice and beefy and rich with some reverb. And then what's doing the rest of the heavy lifting is all these 2 dark patches from Dark Horizon. wrong track. Right. I need to experiment. I need to get some ideas out. So the first thought is I'm really happy with what we have from Dark Horizon. So that alone, that portion of the stream is good. But now to really fill this sucker out, I need to explore into some different territory, or else I'm going to just keep repeating myself. So I need some kind of drums or some kind of low vibes. So I'm going to kind of venture into some synth territory. The reason I played that is this piano. Those are the actual sounds from Ocarina of Time. I've tracked them down, but I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in I don't want to get too sidetracked here. But the Piano 16, this is used in so many N64 soundtracks. Oh, where is it? I hate Zelda music. Where is my 16 though? That's still not the right sound. It's close because it's from the same synth. Oh gosh, it would take 1,000 years to find it in here. The piano. They have a lot of pianos in the M1. Oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Because I love you guys, that's why. 16. Oh heavens. There's so many pianos. This one was also used a lot, the stereo pianoforte. Anyway. That's the water temple. cheesy, but that's a cool patch. I want to use that. That's so neat. It's so different than what I would typically do. So it's like our intro, right? That's it. What's up, Chew? So glad you're here. Man, let's keep exploring the M1 because I was not expecting that sound and it just made my day. How lovely. Let's keep checking these out. If you ever want to write in the N64 style, go grab the M1, the Korg M1. It's not cheap. It's like $200 or $300, I think. But it was used in the 90s for everything. It's one of the default go-to for that era of music. You can find a lot of inspiration in here. There's the Mega Man. Let's keep layering. sure note's gonna happen. It's a tabla set. In Indian music. Let's just play around, yeah? Oh, you guys are funny. Yeah, I'm just inspired by this ancient stuff. Clearly, I'm going off the deep end, but it's kind of cool how many ways you could construct this, huh? Clearly, I'm at the point where I'm kind of looking for the secret sauce. I don't really want a drum kit. We're just looking for more layers. Keep rolling with it, huh? Hey, the fact that you guys are still here means I'm doing something right, I hope. Let's go into Triton territory. Because I can keep filling this thing out. But this is also part of, you know, writing for a quote, a new game, is you want to have a unique palette just for that. I'm glad you like it, Arfo. Every JRPG in the 90s ever. That's the love, the romance theme. Oh, it's literally called Romance Slayer, so I didn't even see that. That's really funny. You know, I have to give a shout out to James, Chip James. We were talking as part of our VGMA monthly live Q&A, and he brought up a really good point that whenever you feel stuck, like creatively, writer's block, whatever, like you just don't know what to do next, go write a dumb song. That's what I do, and it works. Just like get your mind off and just go do something fun. Hey, Andrew, glad you're here. It's the coolest drum kit I've ever played in my entire life. That is 1000% making it into this track. I don't care how, it's just going to. Macaroni. Whoa. Did anyone else see that coming? Oh, lordy. Okay, that's the Triton. That's one of the coolest patches I've ever randomly... Ugly Mama D kit. That is absolutely incredible. It's such punch. Oh my gosh. I'll turn it down a little bit. Oh my gosh, the distortion on that. like that. It's one of those things that you really just have to play a couple perfect measures and then copy it. This is turning out to be really cool. Like, this adds such, I don't know. Is that a cool factor? So all of these guys should just be eighth notes, I think. Add a lot of depth to the track, I think. Well, friends. Oh my gosh. Come on. Settle down. Settle down. That was an unexpected but fun way to beat up this track. the grungy vibes. I guess this is reggaeton. That's pretty cool. It's taking a blob of choir notes and pitch shifting. that's all the time I have for today. I know you guys are asking some really good questions and my process and that kind of stuff. My best advice, if you want to get better at this kind of stuff, do it a lot. Put yourself on the spot. Try to do some live streams. Transcribing is another really big one. I spent a good decade before I ever started writing music professionally, playing and learning my favorite tunes on the piano. That way I kind of learned the ear side of things, how to listen and figure out styles and that kind of thing. So if you want to get better at this kind of stuff, just do it more. Put yourself on the spot. And you just get better and get faster. This is a very interesting track. Totally different than what I expected when I came into this today, but hope you like it. And I'll probably, I don't know, double the melody somewhere at some point. I'm out of energy. I'm out of juice. I can't believe I went as long as I did, but thank you guys for being a part of this today. We're going to play out the final clip, Dark Horizon, mixed with Salt and Sacrifice to create this crazy little boss battle track. Ton of fun. Thank you guys for being a part of this today. I'm going to close up shop. And I just slapped on some ozone there at the end to give it a little bit more punch and rocky vibes and EQ. So you guys take care. I'll talk to you later. And if you do not have Dark Horizon yet, go check it out. Link in the description below. It does support my channel at no additional cost to you. So thank you so much for your support. Super cool library. I'll take a second. Let me play just some of the Dark Horizon bits only before anything else. I'm so sorry. Let me explain that again. My mic was off. Bummer. Okay, so let me show you again. So the patches that I used today were from Dark Horizon, all of the synth bassy stuff up here, which is the foundation of the track. But then after that, I ventured out and used M1 just to try some new experimental things. Used M1 for some choir patch stuff and some percussion stuff. And then found this crazy, gritty, distorted Ugly Mama drum kit from Triton, which is another Korg ancient synth. And then used some strings legato and low brass to double up on those chords to give it some more grit. And on the brass, I used distortion and delay just to give it some more oomph. And slapped on an EQ at the end through ozone. And it also has a compressor. There's a slight compressor, a bit of maximizing to boost the volume. So there you go. There's the track. Let's play it out. You guys have a fantastic day. Go grab Dark Horizons if you don't have it yet, and I'll see you later. right, friends. Just for fun, I wanted to actually throw the physical loop in there and see what happens when we finish the boss battle. What's going to happen? Maybe we can get this audio back. Just for fun. Cool. So now let's do the same treatment down here. Let's play out for real, for real. See you guys.